All right, 8th graders, you're gonna try to retake the Standard 7 assessment. I'm gonna go over that assessment so that you can see what things you got wrong the first time you took this test. So what I suggest you do right now is open up the copy of the test that you took and look at the answers that you had so we can see which ones you missed and maybe why you got them wrong. And if you have your original work, if you have your original work paper, that would be great because then we could look at that as well. So if not, that's fine. Just go pull out a blank sheet of paper and we'll go over this on our blank paper. So question number 1 says, determine the number of solutions. So all we have here is this bigger equation. So I'm going to start by writing down that equation on my paper. And I have 1/2 parenthesis 6x minus 8 plus 2x equals 5x minus 4. All right, now I'm going to simplify this a little bit. I'm going to start by distributing the 1/2 to everything in the parentheses. And when I do that, I get 1/2 times 6 is 3x. 1/2 of negative 8 is negative 4. And I'm adding 2x, and that still equals 5x minus 4. Now, if you're one of those people like me who likes to draw a line down the middle, that's great, just to keep us organized. Okay, over here on the left side, I'm going to combine both of the things that have an x with it. So I've got 3x's and 2x's together, those are 5x minus 4. And on the other side, 5x minus 4. All right, from this point, I can see that the x's are identical. So this is either going to be no solution or infinite solutions, because when I subtract 5x, those will both eliminate. So what's left over? Well, the stuff that's going to be left over after I get rid of those 5x's is negative 4 and negative 4. That is a true statement. And since it is a true statement, we are going to click infinite solutions, because if we have identical things on both sides of this equation, then it's going to be infinite solutions. Okay, let's move on to question number 2. On question 2, it's the same kind of problem. It says, determine the number of solutions, and you are given all this stuff. Okay, so we've got negative 4n plus 7 equals 6 times n minus 5 plus 2n. All right, let's divide this up. I'm going to distribute the 6 to everything in the parentheses there. So I still have my negative 4n plus 7, but then 6 times n is 6n. 6 times negative 5 is negative 30, and then I still have my plus 2n. Okay, the next thing I need to do is combine like terms on the right side of the equal sign. So I still have on the left my 4n plus 7. On the right, 6n plus 2n will be 8n. And we have our minus 30 that didn't change. Okay, so let's compare. We have negative 4n over here and 8n over there. Those don't match, so they won't eliminate one another. If they are not going to eliminate one another, then we know that this is going to be one solution. Now, if it were asking for the final answer, I would add 4n to both sides, add 30 to both sides, and then I could get my final solution from there. But it's not necessarily asking for that. It's just asking one solution, no solutions, or infinite solutions. All right, so let's clear this out, and we will go to problem number 3. On problem 3, it says determine the number of solutions. So again, we are going to write this out. Negative 2x plus 2 equals negative 5 plus 5x minus 7x. Okay, over here, I can combine like terms, negative 5x and negative 7x. I still have my negative 2x plus 2. The negative 5 does not change, but if I add together 5x and negative 7x, I would get negative 2x. And then this minus 5 goes on the end. So now we're going to check, because remember, we're just looking for how many solutions there are. I have negative 2x's and negative 2x's. Those will eliminate one another when I add 2x to both sides. So then I can compare 2 and negative 5. Those are obviously different numbers. So if they don't match, then it's going to be no solution, because you're going to have a false statement at the very end. All right, let's go to question number 4. This one just says solve the equation. So if I am solving from here, I'm just going to do it right on this problem. First thing I need to get rid of is that 7. So I can subtract 7 from both sides of this equation. 17 minus 7 is equal to 10, and then I have 5x on the other side. The way that you undo 5 times x is by dividing by 5 on both sides. And my final answer is going to be 2 equals x. So I can type that in for my solution here. I just need to type in the number, because if you try to type in an x, it says only numerical values. So I can just write 2. All right, let's look at the next one. Question number 5. Solve this equation. All right, let's start by, we'll separate the two sides here. I've got 8 x's, take away 6 x's. 8x minus 6x is 2x. So I would have 2x plus 1 equals 11. Next thing I'm going to do is subtract 1 from both sides, and I get 2x equals 10. Last thing, divide by 2, and I get x equals 5. So I can write in for my final answer, 5. All right, let's look at the next one. Solving this equation, I know that there's going to be some distribution here, and there's also going to be some combining like terms. So let's start by distributing. 2 times x and 2 times 3. Well, 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 3 is positive 6, and then I have my positive 4x equals 39. And let's start combining some like terms. 2x's and 4x's together make 6x's. Plus 6 equals positive 39. I can then, forgot to switch colors, I can subtract 6, and I get 6x equals 33. Last step, divide by 6, and I get x equals, I'm going to do a decimal approximation here, so I'm doing 33 divide by 6, and I get 5.5. So 5.5 is my decimal answer. I don't think it lets you type in fractions. Let me make sure. If I were to try to type in 33 over 6, yeah. So on these ones, the decimal answer is fine. Okay, so let's go to the next problem. Question number 7. Yep, okay. On question 7, oops, forgot to get my drawing tool out. I need to get the g's to the same side. So I've got 8 g's on the left and 4 g's on the right. I can either subtract 8g from both sides, or I can subtract 4g from both sides. I'm going to go with subtracting 4g, because it will keep the left side positive. Because I know in my head that 8g minus 4g leaves me with 4g, and there's still plus 9. And on the right side, it equals 1. Next thing I'm going to do is subtract 9 from both sides of my equal sign, and I have 4g equals 8. Last step, divide both sides by 4. I know that's poor handwriting, that looks like a 9. And my answer will be g equals 2. All right, let's go to question number 8. On question 8, a little bit of distribution going on here. Oh man, every time. I'm going to distribute this 3 to everything inside the parentheses. And I have 2a minus 12 equals 3a minus 18. Now I want to get all of the a's to the same side. I'm going to subtract 2a from both sides. These are gone. And I have negative 12 equals 1a, I'm just going to write a, minus 18. Okay, I can add 18 to both sides of this. And when I do negative 12 plus 18, just a quick reminder, I get positive 6. So I would have 6 equals a. And that's my final answer here, 6. Let's clear that out. One more equation to solve, and then we get word problems. Okay. Oh man, every stinking time. Okay, on this side, I'll distribute the 6. On this side, I'm distributing a 5. Lots of distribution here. So I have 3b plus 5 times b is 5b plus 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. On the other side, 6 times b is 6b. 6 times 4 is 24. Okay, let's combine some like terms. There's lots of them on the left side. 3b and 5b together make 8b. So I have 8b minus 10 equals 6b plus 24. Okay, I'm going to subtract 6b from both sides. And then you'll notice I want to get all the other letters or the numbers to the other side. So I'm also going to add 10 and add 10. When I do that, 8b minus 6b gives me 2b, and then the 10s are gone. 6b minus 6b is 0, 24 plus 10 is 34. Last step, divide by 2, and I get b equals, no, not 16. 34 divided by 2 would be 17, right? Let me double check, so I'm not counting my brains today. 34 divided by 2, 17. All right. So we will type in 17. Okay, let's talk about question number 10 and 11. So Jessie and her brothers, Nick and Owen, are saving money over the summer. Each week, Jessie saves twice as much as Owen. Nick saves $5 more than Owen. At the end of 4 weeks, they have saved a total of $220. How much did each person save per week? Okay, so we've got Owen, Jessie, and Nick. We need to figure out who they all depended on. So it looks like Jessie saved twice as much as Owen. Nick saved $5 more than Owen. So Owen is who they all depend on. I'm going to mark him as X. So to show that Jessie saved twice as much as Owen, I will say Jessie had 2X. And to show that Nick was $5 more than Owen, I'll take Owen's X and add 5. Okay, so my equation there, a couple different ways you can do this. So you've got X for Owen plus 2X for Jessie plus X plus 5 for Nick. And then remember, this is at the end of 4 weeks. So I'm going to put all of that in parentheses and multiply it by 4. And they all saved a total of $220. Okay, so I can type that in actually. That's going to be my equation here. Ruh-roh. So 4 parentheses, X plus 2X plus X plus 5 equals 220. The other thing you can do here is simplify, and then you can type it in. Actually, I don't really know which one we prefer because I haven't looked at the key for this yet, but we'll find out at the end if we get it wrong. Okay, so let's combine some like terms in here. X plus 2X plus X. I'm going inside the parentheses. I still have a 4 out there, but X plus 2X plus X is 4 X's. And still plus 5 equals 220. Okay, now I can distribute my 4 to everything in those parentheses. So 4 times 4X is 16X. 4 times 5 is 20 equals 220. Next step is subtract 20 from both sides. And I get 16X equals 200. Last step, divide both sides by 16. Divide by 16. And let's figure out what is 200 divided by 16. It looks like 12.5. So let's get this on here. X equals 12.5. Now we are talking about money. So if I were to say that Owen gets $12.5, that's not really something that people say. They don't say like, hi, I make $12.5 per hour. We would say $12.50. So when I type this in, I'm going to say $12.50. Okay, Jessie was double what Owen made. So Jessie is going to take that $12.50 and multiply it by 2. and Jesse makes $25. Technically we can type in 25, or you can put in 25.00. Okay, Nick was $5 more than Owen. So I'd take my $12.50 plus 5 would give me $17.50. All right, so that is all we've got for these three boys. Daisy's Flowers sells a royal, oh my gosh, I'm like just reading the wrong words. Daisy's Flowers sell a rose bouquet for $39.95 plus $2.95 for every rose. Rose Emporium sells a similar bouquet for $26 plus $4.50 for every rose. How many roses would make these two bouquets cost the same amount? So let's start by talking about Daisy's Flowers. So for Daisy's Flowers, the rose bouquet is $39.95 plus $2.95 for every rose. Right here it says number of hours. That should say roses. Okay, so for Daisy's Flowers, we are doing $39.95 plus $2.95 for every rose, which I'm going to put as my X here. For Rose Emporium, you've got $26 plus $4.50 for every rose. So these are our two equations, or our two expressions. So I'm going to say 39.95 plus 2.95x. And then for Rose Emporium, 26.00, I'm just going to write 26. Actually, I'm going to put 0.00, why not? Plus 4.50x. My equation is when I set these two equal to each other. So I'm going to be super lazy and just copy those, set it equal to the other one. So now we need to solve this thing. So I'm going to actually rewrite that next to this one. So this equals 26 plus 4.50x. All right, I want to get all the x's to the same side. So I am going to subtract 2.95x, subtract 2.95x. So these will be gone, and I will have 39.95 equals 26 plus, and when I type that in, $4.50 minus 2.95 gives me $1.55. So over here I have $1.55 times x. Okay, let's get rid of this 26 minus 26. 39.95 minus 26. So we've got 39.95 minus 26. And I get 13.95. So 13.95 equals 1.55x. Last step, divide both sides by 1.55. And I've got 13.95 divided by 1.55. And it looks like my answer is 9. That would be 9 equals x. Oops. Okay, so if 9 equals x, it says the cost of the bouquets will be the same with 9 roses. Okay, let's see how we did. Obviously, we're not going to be able to put a file on there, but let's see if there's anything that we got totally wrong. Hopefully not. Okay, so let's look through here. Let's see if I'll put one of these in as wrong. Let me pause real quick. Okay, I'm sure some of you were like wanting to punch the screen when I solved this one. Do you see the error that I made here? We've got 8g plus 9 equals 4g plus 1. And what I should have seen was when we subtracted 4g from both sides, and then we subtracted 9 here, we would have had 4g equals, these eliminate, 1 minus 9 is -8. Then when we divide by 4, we get G equals -2. And you see that I put a +2 there. So this should be a -2, which I hope that you saw on yours as well. Okay, let's see where the other one is. La, la, la. Okay, question number 10. Oh boy, there's a lot of stuff on here. I'm guessing it is probably with the way that I typed in this one, but let me pause it and see. All right, I found my error. It actually wasn't my error. It was a key error, which technically is my error. But my key just was marking this wrong, but this is actually marked correct. That is totally good. We should have gotten that one right. And then obviously this one's not gonna be right until your teacher checks it for you. All right, so I think you've got what it takes to try this extra practice. If you need some help, ask your math teacher. But if you are doing great, then I want you to just move right along. You should get a good grade on your extra practice. If not, ask for some help and then retake that test. All right, good luck, my lovely 8th graders.